Hey, welcome. I'm going to try to do a quick video on using your calculator. Now, there are tons of different types of calculators, but they really break down into two categories. So I'm going to sweep all these away and start. Okay, so first of all, here's a calculator. Now, your calculator might not look exactly like this, but if your calculator doesn't have sine, cos, and tan buttons, then you can't use it. It's pretty much junk. But don't throw it out. Give it to a math teacher. They can use it for their grade 9 kids. Alright, so let's go into step 1, testing it. Okay, test your mode. Now, what I mean by test your mode is you need it in degree mode. So, all your calculators have to be in degrees. Now, where do I check that? Well, I check it up here. You can't really see that, but that is not a D, and it should be a D for degrees. Now, what I'm testing though is I'm going to take the sine of 30 and hit equals. The sine of 30 should always give you 0.5, or 1/2. Now, technically, you could test the tan of 45 equals 1, or the cos of 60 equals 0.5, but I usually just use the sine of 30. Those would be good to memorize, maybe for later, like grade 11. Okay, so, switch modes. How do I switch modes? Well, in this calculator, I change my mode using the mode button. Mode, 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 mode. Hit it a bunch of times and there's degrees. Bam, now I'm in degrees, I hit equal again, and it gives me the right answer. Calculator, check. On most calculators, so your mode switcher, as we'll call it, is just a DRG button. On that last calculator, it was a mode button. So slide this calculator up into view. I'll just move it over here, and you can see this button right here is DRG. So when I turn it on, I'll clear it first. Oh wait, that's also how I can tell if it's in degree mode. It says DEG on this calculator. So by hitting the DRG button, I can now choose between degrees, radians, and gradients. Now, we're going to use degrees this year. You're going to use radians later. And if you get into the French artillery, you might use gradients. Or they might have stopped doing that 100 years ago, I'm not sure. So, DRG button. Test it. Sine 30. Bam. This button also has a calculator, also has a DRG and has a degree. Easy. This one is a little bit more difficult. I've got to go into setup for this one. Now, it looks like that's G up there, so I hit shift, and then I hit setup, and there's degree there. This one's already in degrees, has the DRG button down here, and this little guy is in grads. So, DRG, degrees, DRG grads, flip it into degrees, take 30 and hit sine. So this calculator actually goes backwards. And this is what I mean by two types of calculators. Some calculators that have a display up here that actually show you what you're punching in, give you just a straight answer. So you punch it in straight, sine of 30. Calculators like this, or this, you have to punch in the opposite order. So I punch in 30, and then hit the sine button, and now that's taken the sine of 30.